I noticed that your title changed recently. You're now SVP, Chief Media, and E-commerce Officer at MondelÄz International. So, congrats.
Thank you.
What's that mean?
So we saw a unique opportunity in the marketplace right now to build a bridge between the media practice and what we think will be one of our fastest growing P&Ls, which will be e-commerce. And so I really think it speaks to a changing world where, we were talking about this earlier, where everybody's talking about unicorns, and how digital businesses are building billion-dollar businesses really quick. Well, we actually believe that this notion of digitizing traditional businesses will actually grow bigger, better, faster unicorns than even the tech business, even guys like you can build. And so what we saw was this opportunity to put media and e-commerce together in a way that it's never been done in any other organization.
And does that mean that you're now out there building shopping carts for all your brands? And
no, this is not direct to consumer yet.
Okay.
This is really about how do we drive. Look, when you look at the growth of e-commerce will be 50% of the growth of most CPGs over the next 5 years. It's estimated to be 3 to 10% of organizational revenue. So for us, that'll be easily $1 billion business. But that's driven by our partner retailers. So how do we begin to use media? Here we are. We're sitting in a world where we have digital media that can actually drive to a close. But yet many of the organizations aren't using any of that digital media to actually convert somebody to a sale. And so what we saw was how do we use, and now we're about a 24% spender in digital, how do we use every single piece of that digital money to actually drive a person to a close on the other end? And that's driving more traffic to our retailers, that's supporting our retailer business, and that's ultimately driving what we think will be the fastest growing e-commerce business out there.
Congrats.
Don't congratulate me yet. Let's see if we get it done, but then.
When we were catching up earlier, I was asking you what's important, and you said data, data, data. What's that mean? What's your strategy to activate data at MondelÄz?
Well, I think it's interesting. I think the biggest challenge the industry has right now is that we're still having the same conversation around programmatic. And I feel like if you're not an organization that understands that data is driving decisions, then you're not even in the game right now. If we're still having that question, it really frustrates me because here we are, we have a constant conversation around 20% of the marketplace. At the end of the day, and we talked a little bit about this, which is 80% of the marketplace is still not digitized. And as that inventory, which is big swaths of inventory, comes online, that's where if you're not a data player, then you're not...
You're talking about TV.
I'm talking about traditional, yeah. So if you're not a data player, then you're not even set up for really the next wave of growth.
So do you think that's where it's going to go, data-driven TV?
Yeah, and I love Ewan, but I think he's wrong. I just think he's wrong. But it will all be digitized. I firmly believe that any marketplace that can be digitized will be digitized. The same exact thing we saw with the stock market. Now, I also disagree with the question that was asked, which is, do we not need media agencies? No, we need media agencies now more than ever. I think... if you look at what happened on the stock market, we don't stop having traders, but what we have is people who develop strategies that go into algorithms that drive black box trading, that drive more efficiency. We need the intelligence that agencies bring to the table. We just need to digitize those and create algorithms that allow machines to make those decisions much faster. And that's what's going to happen, and that's how the world operates. Even more than that is I think that the agency structure needs clients more than ever to be supportive of driving so that they can pull resources out of a mundane buying process. Are you kidding me? That's what you were wasting your time on, picking up the phone and making it when machines can do that at scale, at mass, at strategies that really drive our business. That's where the world is at.
I don't think it was the right question either. I think it's a matter of what do agencies look like at the end of all this. How are they going to be staffed? What types of people are they hiring? I mean, you look at a holding company, they've got a lot of people, a lot of fixed costs, and programmatic enables you essentially to do more with less. So it does feel like the model has to evolve.
I think you can do more with more. So, I'm not suggesting that media agencies become smaller. I'm suggesting that they continue to bring on smart people that have the strategic mindset to drive our business. Now, does that mean that the nature of who is brought into the agency will change? Yes, it'll change. But we still need people to, it's not like the machines are just going to do it on their own. We still need people who develop real strategic thinking, people who create connections planning, people who understand our brands, and then translate that into algorithms that allow machines to go and buy for us. It's just a different ballgame. There's not less traders on the floor of the stock. On the floor of the stock exchange, there's a lot less traders, but there's not a lot less traders in the world right now. And so I think if we're really looking at mature markets, when mature markets digitize, it actually provides access for more people to participate in that exchange.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the other 80%. We launched a product called PTV in December. It's a self-serve tool for buying linear television. And when we launched it, we're pretty good about keeping expectations low. It's only partially automated. But we were surprised how excited advertisers were just being more efficient with the largest part of your buy. I mean, how fast do you think that moves? Do you see MondelÄz buying TV, linear television, through software and using data anytime soon?
It's a layup question. They just did that for us. We just bought a Super Bowl ad with them using software. So I don't know.
Yeah, but you had to be.
It's kind of unfair. He was just like, let me set him up for this question.
Well, you had to be.
To Bogle. And then the best was, do you see a role for a consolidated platform? And they're like, no, multi-platform. He was like, actually, there's a lot of benefit to a consolidated platform. Hint, hint to Bogle. Yes, of course, I see a space for. Again.
I mean, the caveat: you had to be in Erie, Pennsylvania, to see your Super Bowl ad.
I was there.
So
That's how I roll.
That wasn't a
I go test your product.
Super Bowl
I was like, let's
TV
see if this Super Bowl thing really works. I'm in Erie. Trying to no, no, it wasn't at scale, but it was a beginning test. If you can buy the largest single moment in North America using programmatic, of course you're going to be able to buy every. And what I think the biggest thing is that and you hear the language around broadcasters not wanting to use the word programmatic, and they're probably right. It probably will be called automation, right? And it'll be automated buying because there'll still be approval process and some of those things, and it might not be RTB and all those pieces. But at the end of the day, I actually believe that it's going to create greater value for the broadcasters because the alignment of data will allow them to sell inventory that otherwise they consider remnant or doesn't really have the same value as quote unquote premium, but to a specific advertiser looking for that specific person, which they missed because they just missed that click or that whatever, that is going to be very, very valuable. So it's going to allow them to change the value equation, and I actually think broadcasters are going to benefit dramatically from the automation.
There's no question that that's the hope. I'm a broadcaster.
No, there's no question that that's the truth, right?
Well, it kind of
data makes everything better.
We hope so. I mean,
had a
if you're a
burger that was like
broadcaster,
data,
you're losing your linear audience to digital. But if people are willing to pay more for the audiences that are still left, maybe it maintains the overall economic value of the business.
Well, I don't think it's that you're losing your audience to. Here's the crazy thing. When you actually look, content is better than ever. Like, if you actually think about television, especially in North America, if you think, or across the world, like if you came to MIP TV here a couple of months ago, there are so many really good shows in the world right now. Content is better than we've ever seen before. And people are actually consuming more content than they ever have before. They're just doing it on how they want to consume it. And most of that happens to be time shifted or on demand. And so when you saw, if you were in North America upfronts this year, Fox showed one of their shows, I can't remember which one it was, 50% of the people were viewing it on linear, 50% of it were viewing it on demand. And so right now, what's crazy about it is that on-demand inventory, there's no way for them to capture any value out of it.
It gets unmonetized.
There's no way to monetize it. And so, I think that the introduction and the digitization of that will change, the complexion of their business dramatically, and I think it'll allow them to get back unmonetized moments. If you look at a company, Furious Media, which I've been an advisor to them for a while, and that's why that's exactly what they're doing. So the problem is that nobody's sitting with the broadcaster, understanding the broadcaster's challenge, and figuring out how to automate yield flow or how to do forecasting better. Those are the challenges that the broadcasters have. Once those are solved, the value creation that's going to happen. Oh wow, look at that.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Give this man a round of applause. Come on. That's like, once you solve those, the value creation that's going to happen is going to be immediate and fast, I think.
So
the other thing I think, though, is that, again, I think one of the challenges we have as an industry is that we continue to create this bifurcation between digital and traditional. And so that's why it frustrates me that the conversation we're singly having is around programmatic of the digital ecosystem versus what does the world look like when everything becomes programmatic or automated? Because ultimately
that's what we're trying to do. I mean, we're trying to stitch together linear and digital, so you don't have to make a distinction between the two. It's just buying video. So you're day and a half in the can? Have you seen any patterns yet? What do you think the story is going to be at the end of the week?
I don't know. There's patterns, I guess. I think video is clearly going to be what's Facebook's play. Where's the world of Facebook video going to go? Clearly, they're going to probably trump some of our other friends over the next year, and what does that world look like? So we're super hot on trying to figure out Facebook. In fact, you'll see an announcement from us tomorrow around our Facebook relationship, which we think is really exciting. We're the first in the marketplace to kind of drive this, and so we're very excited about that. The thing for me that is the scariest thing, and I think the topic that we're not talking a lot about, is talent. And so I think the drain on our industry in terms of talent, and the fact that our partners like our agencies are having a tough time retaining talent, the fact that we're losing talent every single day. And so what's the future of talent? How are we as an industry going to reinvigorate talent to come and work for? Look, there was a time when you would graduate and you would go work for Unilever, P&G, and Kraft. Now you go work for Google, Facebook, and Twitter. And so what's the future of that look like? To me, that's. But again, that's why I talk about the unicorns, because I think what is just now happened is that now you can actually digitize traditional businesses and make them grow faster than we've ever seen before. And I think that should be an exciting moment for talent that has any inclination towards kind of the digital spectrum, coming to work for big organizations like ours or our partners. And the other thing I think, just really quickly, is I think the talent challenge is both the client, and I think the clients have been lazy about it, but I think it's both relies on the client as well as the agency. So it's not enough for us to just beat our agency up because they don't have all of our FTEs filled. We have to figure out how to help them make this an attractive business to be a part of.